How to propagate semi-ripe stem cuttings. Hello and welcome to Video Jug. We're at Capel Manor College in Greater London. Head of Horticulture and Landscaping, Tom Cole, is going to show us how to propagate semi-ripe stem cuttings. This is a way of growing new plants from an established plant. Semi-ripe refers to a type of shoot from this year's growth which has started to harden at the base but is still flexible at the tip. The semi-ripe stage occurs from midsummer all the way through to autumn on every type of shrub, making this type of propagation applicable to all varieties. Step 1. You will need a healthy parent plant. We're taking from a Weigela Florida with variated leaves. Secateurs. Plant pots. A pot about 14 cm in diameter will hold roughly 8 good cuttings. A good cutting soil. A striking board. This is a flat piece of wood used to scrape away excess soil. If you don't have one, use something similar or your hand. A firming board. This is a flat piece of wood used to press the soil. If you don't have one, you can again use your hand. A dibber or something similar, such as a pencil. A cutting board. We're using a tile, but any hard surface will do. A knife. Rooting powder. This assists the plant's ability to grow roots. And ideally some protective gloves for handling the powder. A clear plastic bag. String. A watering can with a rose attachment. An indelible pen and plant labels. All of these can be bought from your nearest gardening centre. Step 2. Take the cutting. Select a healthy, well-watered parent plant. Look for a branch with many young leafy shoots. Cut at the base to remove the entire branch. You can take the individual stem cuttings later. Place the branch in a large plastic bag to prevent it from drying out. Remove several suitable branches from the parent tree. This will maximise your choice of cuttings. Always take from the outer edges of the plant, as these branches are the most vigorous, making them more likely to root. Shrubs with variated leaves, meaning the leaves are two colours, will sometimes produce the odd single-coloured shoot. This is due to stress. Avoid taking cuttings from these shoots as they will only produce similar one-colour shrubs. Once you've collected all the cuttings, immerse them in a large bowl of water. This prevents wilting while you carry out the next steps. Step 3. Prepare the pot. Fill the pot up with the soil. Sweep away the excess soil with a striking board and use a firming board to press down to about 1 cm from the lip. Step 4. Remove the cutting. Feel the shoot. If the tip is too pliable, snip it off. Otherwise, it will rot. The ideal cutting will have 4 leaf junctions and be about 10 to 15 cm long. Have a look at the possible stem cuttings on one of your selected branches. Cut at an angle just before the 4th junction to remove it from the branch. This removal method is called a stem tip cutting. Step 5. Deleaf and score. Place the stem on the cutting board and trim off the bottom 2 sets of leaves. Slice off one side of the very bottom tip of the stem. This exposes more of the tissue which produces the root, maximising the chances of success. Step 6. The rooting powder. Put on the protective gloves before you handle the powder. Dip just the very bottom exposed area of the stem in rooting powder. Make sure it's covered the area well. Step 7. Trim the leaves. Cut the large leaves in half. These take up valuable growing energy which instead needs to be directed to developing roots. Step 8. Plant. With the dibber, make a hole in the soil at the edge of the pot. Place the shoot in as far as the remaining leaves and firm the soil around it. It's wise to plant the cuttings at the edge of the pot so that they can naturally draw off the moisture they need. If planted in the middle, they would sit in too much water and could rot. Step 9. Repeat with other stems. It's fine to place several cuttings in one pot as long as the leaves are not touching the neighbouring cutting. Repeat this process until the pot can hold no further cuttings. Step 10. Shorter cuttings. If your shoot has less than 4 leaf junctions, tear it away from the branch, taking some of the old wood with it. This method is called a heel cutting. The larger exposed area of old wood gives the shorter shoot a better chance of rooting. Trim as before. Dip the exposed area into the rooting powder and plant. Step 11. Label. Use an indelible pen to write the variety of plant on one side of the label and the date on the other side. Place this in the pot. Step 12. Water. Turn the rose on the watering can upwards and begin running the water at the side of the pot. This prevents disruption to the soil surface. Water heavily. Step 13. Leave to grow. Place the pot in a large clear plastic bag. Top tip. Blow into the bag before you seal it to enrich the carbon dioxide content. The bag acts like a mini greenhouse, keeping the air warm and sealing in the moisture and humidity. Leave it to grow in a warm, light area, but out of direct sunlight. A windowsill is ideal. Step 14. Reacclimatise. After a week and a half, cut 3 or 4 holes in the side of the bag. This will allow cool air to circulate, but it will remain moist. 2 weeks later, cut the top off the bag to allow more air in. 2 weeks after that, roll the bag down to expose the cuttings. Dip your finger into the soil. If you don't feel any moisture, lightly water the pot. And after another 2 weeks, remove the bag. Look at the bottom of the pot. You might be able to see the roots growing out. It's now time to replant your cuttings into individual pots. See video jug How to Prick Out Seedlings for the best way to do this. Done.